I started meditating about 30 years ago. I learned my first meditation techniques from my first martial arts teacher. So the single pointed mind meditation technique is a very powerful concentration technique for meditation. And it involves concentrating on particular chakras. And the chakras are energy centers in our energy body. Not only do you develop concentration and the ability to hold your mind still, but once you become adept at this particular meditation technique on the chakras, you can raise the Kundalini energy. And the Kundalini energy is a very powerful energy of transformation. Greetings, my friends. We're on day 4 of 30 days to raise your frequency. And momentarily, we're going to get into a guided meditation. So follow along and join us. But before that, I'd like to go over a few points of how to get started with your meditation. What are some good things to do before you meditate in order to get ready? I always like to include the meditation in my morning routine. And the reason that I recommend meditating in the morning is because it sets your day up. Instead of waiting to the end of the day to meditate, if you do it in the morning, you're gonna wake up to your fullest capacity. And then that wakeful state will carry on with you throughout the day. So when I wake up in the morning, I like to get up and have some breakfast. A light breakfast for me is a protein shake and a bowl of oatmeal, whatever you like to eat for breakfast. As long as it's not too heavy or too greasy, I think you'll be okay. But definitely have a little bit of food in the morning before you meditate. And then I have a cup of coffee. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not very useful until I have a cup of coffee. And, there's a lot of debate. Should I have caffeine before I meditate? Should I have coffee? It's really up to you. In this particular meditation technique, I definitely recommend being as awake as possible. Now, if you've done the meditation technique with me before, you know that the single pointed mind technique is a concentration technique where we focus on one point at a time. And in order to do this, we have to be very awake. You can't be sleepy. So I like to have a good old cup of coffee about a half hour before I meditate. And after my cup of coffee, then I take a shower. And if you're really hardcore, you can do the cold shower, and that'll really wake you up. Of course, I start off with a warm, hot shower, like regular, wash up with everything, and then I switch to the cold water, and then get under that cold water for a good minute or so. And that'll really wake you up. That'll really get you out of any type of mental fog that you might have from sleeping. So if you're not a coffee person, then maybe a little cup of tea will do just fine. And then meditate. So you got your morning routine. You wake up, you have breakfast, you have a cup of tea or coffee, you take a shower, and then you sit down to meditate. Now, when you sit down to meditate, I have my meditation space. I prefer to sit in a chair. This is my meditation chair right here. I've had this meditation chair with me since I was very young. So it's infused with a lot of good energy. So whether you believe in that or not, everything is energy. And where we meditate on a regular basis will become sort of a sacred space for you. So I think it's good to have a meditation area in your home, whether it's part of a room or a corner in your room where you have your cushion if you sit on the floor, or whether you have your chair. I think it's good to have a regular meditation space. So when we sit down to meditate, one of the things I want to go over before we get started is posture. It's a very good idea to have a good posture when we meditate. So an example of good posture is when I'm sitting on the chair, I'm actually sitting on the edge of the chair with my back straight, head straight, just like that. And while I'm meditating, if I notice that my posture tends to get rounded or I tend to get too relaxed, I will slowly return or reset my posture back to a good posture. Now, why is posture important? Two main reasons. First of all, posture and form is everything. There's a form in your mind. Your mind is taking a particular form, just as your body takes a particular form. And when you have a good upright posture, you have a high frequency. When you have a slouched posture, you're putting your body in a low frequency, low energy posture, a low energy shape, a low energy form. And the second reason is that you want to make sure that you have a good posture so that there's proper energy flow. In this technique that I show you guys every day, as you know, when we sit up straight and we allow our posture to have good posture and we focus on the chakras, there's an energy flow called the Kundalini that will rise up. And if you don't have a good posture, you can sort of prevent this energy flow from rising correctly, if you will. Now, some yogis are very strict. They like to sit in a lotus or half lotus position, back perfectly straight. Now, personally, I'm not that flexible, and I can't sit cross-legged on the ground for very long without making my knees and legs and my lower back uncomfortable. So if you're like me, and I've sat in a chair pretty much my whole life for meditation, and I like sitting at the edge of the chair with my back straight, kind of like sitting on my butt bones, and I can sit here for a long period of time. So I definitely recommend sitting in a chair. The one thing I don't recommend is laying down to meditate. Now, I know some people they have medical issues, maybe they've got back problems to where they just cannot sit for some reason. If for some reason that you can sit, if you can't sit straight on the edge of the chair, if you can sit in a chair and lean back, that's the second best thing, leaning back in a chair. The last resort would be to lay down. The reason why I don't recommend laying down while you meditate is because we have a tendency to relax too much. And this allows our body to become sleepy and our mind to become sleepy. And it's very important to be alert when we meditate. Meditation is not about relaxation. You might get the side effect of becoming more calm, becoming more relaxed. But meditation is about waking up. It's about becoming more aware. And in that wakeful state, we want to be as alert as possible. We want to be ready to go. So I'm sitting at the edge of my chair. I'm on the edge of my seat. And I can't wait. I'm super excited to meditate. So when I'm sitting at the edge of my seat, I feel alert. I feel ready. Have good posture. Imagine that you had some books on the top of your head and you're trying to balance those books. So while we have a good posture and we want to maintain that posture, when we meditate, we want to try to relax while maintaining a good posture the best we can. So it's sort of a balance that we find between relaxation and proper muscle tension. So there's a few muscles in the back that would need to remain with a moderate amount of tension just to maintain the back's good posture, to maintain that, straight back. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. We are sitting in our meditation area. We have a good posture. And what's the next thing to do? Well, to follow along with this meditation technique that we'll be doing here momentarily, I recommend that you go to the top of the group and print out one of these yantras. The yantra is a meditation concentration device. It's designed to use our eyes to gaze at that center dot. See the dot in the middle of the circle? Now, this is a great way to warm up our concentration ability. By focusing our eyes on that center dot, it's very easy to hold the eyes still on the center dot with a steady stream of concentration, a steady stream of awareness, a steady stream of concentration. And why is this important? because it's a good way to warm up our concentration ability before we move on to the chakras. So, 5 steps to stillness. You've got step number 1, focusing on the yantra. If you haven't printed out the yantra yet, you can go ahead and pause the video, unless it's live right now, and print one out and tape it up on your wall about eye level. Step number 2, we move into the chakras, beginning with the navel chakra for step 2, heart chakra for step 3, and third eye chakra for step 4. And then step 5 is a process of just letting go, surrendering, and just being still. No focus, no concentration. That's really where the meditation begins. But prior to meditation, I recommend concentration. Concentration is such an important element that a lot of people skip over before they begin their meditation practice. And the reason why it's so important is because unless you've developed a certain proficiency in your concentration ability, chances are you'll be overwhelmed by your thought processes. You'll be overwhelmed by your mental tendencies. The tendencies of our attention to wander. This is completely normal, and this is a product of 2 things, in my opinion. Number 1, it's a product of a lack of concentration. Chances are, if you haven't had a career in some sort of a technical, like architecture, mathematics, computer science, engineering, something where it involves a lot of high-level mental processes, concentration ability. If you're someone who doesn't work long hours with a focal point, a concentration point, chances are your mind might be a little bit lazy, and that's okay. We're all starting from different points, and the good news is that you can develop your concentration ability. You can increase the length in which you can concentrate on a single point, and that's what this meditation process that I'll be sharing with you momentarily can offer you. But the second point, and this point is not as well known perhaps to a lot of people who are interested in meditation, but the reason why we're picking up on all these thoughts is because we ourselves are very sensitive and psychic beings, meaning we feel and we're impressed by all the different energies around us, meaning all the different energies are affecting our minds. We pick up on all the energies. We actually can pick up on thoughts. We're all a little bit psychic, you know? We're all a little bit sensitive. And if you're interested in meditation, chances are you're even more sensitive. You're even more psychic, because a lot of people who have who practice meditation in this life have practiced meditation in past lives. Believe it or not. And if you're interested in meditation, if you're interested in this subject, chances are you've done this before. Why is that? Because have you looked around? There's not a lot of people interested in meditation in this world. Why is that? We're all at different levels of evolution. Without getting too far off track, we all have a different number of past lives. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how. I just know, I look around and I see what is, and I am ready to do what's necessary to, elevate my consciousness, to raise my frequency. So we can kind of put philosophy and reasons aside for a moment and just see that, well, this is the way it is. This is what's going on. This is what I need to do in order to rise above it all, in order to improve my own mind, to become happier, to raise my frequency, energy, to reach higher states of consciousness, which is what meditation should offer you. Meditation is a process of transformation. Meditation is a process of change. It's not a Band-Aid. It's not a sit down and just feel good for the moment. If it's true meditation, it should change the way your mind works. Hi, Lida. Welcome. We'll be doing the meditation here shortly. So, getting back to the meditation technique, we'll be meditating today to music. And I've got some people online, so what do you say we get started now? So this 5 steps to stillness meditation is a very powerful meditation technique. Normally I meditate to silence, but today we'll be meditating to music. And I've got 5 songs downloaded to my phone. I think another important tip before you get started with your meditation is put your phone in airplane mode. That way you won't pick up on any of the Wi-Fi signals or any of the distracting notifications that may come through. So when we begin this meditation technique, beginning with step 1, focusing on the yantra. Now say you're online with me right now and you don't have a yantra in front of you, you can just focus on a dot on the wall if you want to for the first step, for the first song. Okay, you could literally take a piece of paper and draw a dot like that. Tape it up on your wall and just stare at that dot. The point of that is it gives your focus a target to hold on to. Because guess what? As soon as you focus on that dot, you know what's going to happen. Your mind is going to wander because these are the tendencies of mind, the habits of mind. It's just that the mind is not used to focusing on one point and holding it there. So this is why we begin with the eyes, because our eyes are very strong. Our eyes have the ability, because we use them all the time, to look at an object and hold it steadily and still on that point. Okay, so that's step 1. Now step 2, 3, and 4, we're going to focus on various chakras. When we focus on the chakras, briefly, what we're doing is we're just trying to feel that area. Feeling is a lost art. I did a podcast about this a while ago, in that we've lost our ability to feel energy, to feel subtle fields of energy. And this is an extremely important skill to have if you want to become adept at meditation. Because the whole process of meditation is a process of refinement. We're transforming our gross mind into a more subtle, refined, purified mind, and then eventually going beyond mind. So we start with the navel chakra for step 2, move up to the heart chakra for step 3, and then the third eye chakra for step 4. In each chakra, we want to just hold our attention there and feel the spot. I'll prompt you by, touching the area, and when you feel your fingertips touch the area, lock in with your attention, take the fingertip away, and then try to hold your awareness there and continue to feel the spot. And when the mind wanders or drifts, just bring it right back. Over time, you'll develop a certain willpower to hold your mind there. Even after years of meditating, I still can't perfectly hold my mind still, but with the effort that I put out every single time, I get better. Okay? So with step number 5, we're completely letting go. So we've worked on focus up to step 4, and then step 5, we stop focusing on anything and we just allow the stillness that we've developed, steps 1 through 4, to kind of carry us into that next level. So step 5, there's really no instructions other than just be still. Let go of all attachments. And you'll notice attachments. You'll notice that you're still attached to certain ways of holding your mind, holding your attention. What we want to try to do is just let that go. And with time and practice, my friend, you'll get better at this technique. So let's give it a try. What do you say? Got my Bluetooth speaker ready to rock here. We'll begin here momentarily. Let me hook up the Bluetooth. So I'll kind of guide you through this meditation technique. And if you have any more questions, feel free to drop a comment below. I'll also be including a downloadable PDF which gives you a quick start guide to this meditation technique. I also coach and teach this technique on the side, and I'll be offering an additional 30-day coaching program for this technique in a few days, probably in about a week. We'll give everybody some time to kind of get enrolled. Those of you who want more attention, more hand-holding, an absolute way of explaining this technique, the chakras, the kundalini, problem solving. A lot of times we learn by coming to the teacher and saying, "Teacher, this is my problem. I can't seem to stop my mind." And then what I'll do is I will reverse engineer the process for you. We will go step by step as to what is the problem. Why are you having difficulty holding your mind? Or if you're not having difficulty holding your mind, how can we get to the next level? Perhaps step 5 seems a little bit difficult for you, and how can we kind of progress? So I think it's very important to have a coach. It's very important to have a teacher. That way we can evolve faster. We can learn faster. So that coaching program I've run before. Hey, what's up, Sandra? Thanks for joining us. We're going to get started here just in a second. So the coaching program is just $30 for 30 days. $1 a day. It's a huge bargain, and I think the last time I ran this coaching program, it was great. A private coaching group. We have a separate Facebook page, and we do online Zoom calls, 4 coaching calls, 1 per week. You get all your questions answered. You can message me directly with any questions that you have right here on Facebook, and I'll be happy to help you guys out. When you go through that 30-day coaching program, that private group coaching program, you will come out of the other end being very proficient at this technique, because this technique does take practice. But it's something that I highly recommend. It's something I've been doing for a long time, and I think it's awesome. And hopefully you do too. So here we go, my friends. Step 1 of the 5 steps of stillness, we're going to be focusing on the yantra. Again, if you don't have a yantra ready, that's okay. Just listen deeply to the music for step 1. When your mind wanders and gets distracted, just bring your attention back to listening to the music. Here we go. I'll be focusing on the yantra here in front of me. Laser-like focus, locking my eyes, the gaze of my eyes on that center dot. Here we go. Just breathe naturally throughout the whole meditation. It's going to be about 20 minutes. Let's raise our frequency together. Okay, now that we've warmed up our concentration, let's move into the chakras. Beginning with step 2, focus on your navel chakra, slightly below your belly button. Place gently the fingertips there in order to prompt your attention to go to that spot. What we want to do is feel the fingertip touch that area. Once we've locked in with our attention, remove the finger and continue to feel the spot. If the mind wanders, just bring it right back to feeling the spot. Try to hold your attention there. Breathe naturally. Now move your attention up to your heart chakra in the center of your chest. Gently place your fingertips in the center of your chest and feel that spot. Once you've locked in and you're ready, remove your fingers and continue to feel the energy at the heart center. Very nice. Now move up to your third eye. Gently place the fingertip between the eyebrows and slightly above. Press gently. Once you've locked in with the feeling, remove the finger and feel the spot. Now for step 5, just let go and surrender to the stillness. Release any tension in your body, in your energies, and in your mind. Very nice. All right. How do you feel? I don't know what's playing now, but yeah, so 20 minutes. It's a good way to kind of just get settled. Obviously, the longer you do this meditation, the deeper you get, and the more profound the experience you have. But as you probably noticed, we have all these tendencies that come up. When we try to discipline our minds by holding it at one point, that's when we notice how undisciplined the mind is. This is what it's all about. But with time and practice, we get better. And what we notice is that we're reformatting our mind. We're changing our minds. We're reshaping our minds. We're getting our minds into shape. By putting it into a shape and by holding it there, and by not allowing for all the distractions and the tendencies which normally are occurring unconsciously to interrupt that process. So what happens is now we've come out of the meditation, we feel a sense of calm, we feel a sense of relief, we feel a sense of levity. And this is what it is to raise your frequency. Now, the more adept you get at this meditation process, and when we can really focus on these chakras with intensity, and they open up and we can feel them, what happens is that the Kundalini energy will rise to where we're focused. And when the Kundalini energy rises, it energizes our very being. It energizes our aura. And this is the true process of raising our frequency. Okay, so thank you again, my friends. I will be including, again, a free quick start PDF guide to this process right down below in the comments as soon as I get off the live video. Thanks again for joining me, and you guys take care. I love you all. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.